We can start it like that.
Ultimatum episode 4 from the second season.
Yeah.
We lost the good couple, so
we did. It's really sad. So we'll see how things pan out in the rest of the season. This season is not as exciting as the queer season. I'm finding myself missing queer love.
We start off with Raya and James, and they're playing like that couple game. She wants to, and she reveals that she likes to keep her eyes closed when she has sex and the lights off. He's kind of like, okay. And then she asks if a hug is foreplay, and I remember thinking that was really off-putting to me. I'm like, girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if she's trying to kind of like just check with her original relationship in her mind and think like, are we doing foreplay? Is that even a thing? Because it seems like James is teaching her a lot about foreplay at this conversation, like what it could be, that it doesn't have to just be like physical or sexual. I also get kind of like a bragging vibe from James here. Here caught me off guard. But for the people who've already watched the series, the season, we'll see at the reunion why he's talking about his life being so good. But it didn't talk too much about that before, so it kind of came across weird to me. The whole conversation was kind of awkward a little bit, but they were flirting, they were doing what they were supposed to be doing, like learning from each other. So yeah.
They go back to Alex and Roxanne for a second, but really nothing happens besides Roxanne getting off on work, and them being next to each other, getting off on just working next to each other. That's basically all that happens with them. You don't see much physical interactions with them. It's just them working and talking about working and how much they love working. And work is literally this woman's like mistress. Like, I swear. It's just...
Yeah, she likes to work and have lunch and then work and have dinner and then work.
And she loves that she doesn't have to be concerned about Alex's work. And I'm like, girl, girl, have fun. Like, you live life once. I mean, I get it. It's good to be able to provide for yourself, but come on, girl. Like, you need to just chill. I think you need somebody that lightens you up a little bit. I kind of think MGK is not that bad for you. So
I agree. I think Roxanne, this is when we really start to see that she doesn't have much of a personality outside of being a workaholic. And it seems like her being with Alex just blows that part of her personality up even more. And there's no room for anything else. There's no like play or fun or spontaneity. I don't even think we ever saw them go on a date. They went to meet their parents, which we'll talk about, but
it seems like if they go on work lunches or something.
Meeting the parents and again talking about business and how marriage could possibly may or may not fit into that for her. They don't do anything else.
We get on to Ryan and Trey, and they have an ice cream date with wine, which I just thought was kind of... Didn't he say he want to dip his ice cream in the wine? I mean, that was weird to me, but everything else seemed pretty okay. Again, with their scenes, I kind of get bored because it's just kind of like Trey kind of pining after Ryan, and Ryan just kind of being like, yeah, she likes him and she's into it a little bit, but she doesn't like him the way he likes her. It's very apparent. She likes him like a good friend, or like she is learning things off of him, but as a friend. It doesn't seem anything more than that. He reads into her kindness as she really, really likes me.
Yeah, it seems like they're both able to get what they're kind of missing out of their original relationships, which is like that emotional connection, because Raya talks about not having an emotional connection with Trey. And so I think anytime that Ryan, can we talk about for a minute all these like Brian, Raya, Ryan, why are they all the same? I actually give James so much props for not mixing them up. Maybe he did, but
maybe he does. You wouldn't even hear the difference.
I think that Ryan is getting a lot out of her relationship with Trey that she wasn't getting from James, and vice versa from the other. And I think a lot of that is just kind of being vulnerable and open.
Yeah.
And like that's nice and everything, but yeah, I think you're exactly right that Trey is kind of falling more emotionally for these things, and Ryan is just like having the experience.
She wants to go back to James and relay this information to try to make their 7-year long relationship better and hopefully
Yeah.
get engaged. That's literally what her goal is, and that's all over her face. And not in a bad way. I mean, that's good. And James had this like beautiful pool date. I did not expect this of James. I was very
Yeah.
impressed by it. It was really pretty. He had rose petals all over the pool. He had, was it champagne, wine or something like that. It was a very nice date.
And Raya was beautiful. She came out in her little yellow bikini.
She
Like
was.
she looked good.
It looked
So,
so good.
but yeah, it was a very nice date. Super
It
cute. I
was.
think followed the whole foreplay conversation really well, and had me really excited for the two of them about where things could go.
But after they have their date, we get back to Antonio and Kat, which we have not seen them in a long time. I felt like at this point, I was like, oh snap, they're these people. And it was that picnic in the park, and Antonio set it all up, and it was nice. But again, with like their conversations, it's just a lot of Kat going like, yeah, yeah. Like, I wonder if she watches this back and is like, yeah.
Yeah, she has thoughts, she has opinions, she does share them.
Yes.
She's not like an over talker. She doesn't seem to want to just talk to hear herself talk. She calls herself, I think, in the reunion, a supportive listener, and says she's trying to work on not doing that so much, because it does
Right.
come across as if she doesn't have an opinion, and I don't think that that's how she is. She does seem that way in conversation.
It seems like they're not even really 100% trying. They're just there to make sure that their partners go through with this.
All the other couples, I got a sense that there was at least a friendship blooming, but honestly, here it seems like it was probably hard for production to even make it look like they were enjoying their time together.
No.
They don't have any vibe, chemistry. It's not very exciting to watch, which I think is a lot of the reason we don't see them very often.
And the only thing that kind of interesting that comes out is that MGK admits that he's been high for like 6 years.
You could see in her eyes a little bit at that point that she was like, "Oh."
That's basically it over there. There's not much going on. Alex and Roxanne then talk about just independence in marriage, more work talk basically.
Mm-hmm.
Work foreplay. Raya should be asking them, is work foreplay? And this is when Roxanne was like raving about Alex. It seems like he could do no wrong. He's just the most amazing man.
Mm-hmm.
He works. She doesn't have to be concerned about his work. She even acknowledges a time when she has a headache and Alex is like so attentive to her. But then later she'll say he didn't do anything for her. So it's like,
Yeah. We'll see. They seem real content, but not like spicy. Just living life.
it's like pretty much dating your business partner. Pretty much you cut back to Trey and Ryan and they are just talking about how Trey cleaned her car. That's what I'm saying. Like these scenes don't give me anything compared to Queer Love. Just the key things that they talk about is that Ryan wants Trey to be able to stand up for himself and she wants her to be able to voice her opinion. So I guess it's just both of them standing up for themselves in their relationship is what they are gathering from each other. And Alex and Roxanne meet his parents, but she's not scared because she is a parent trap.
She says she does really well with parents. Parents love her because she's such a businesswoman. And I could see that, when you start off that first time meeting the parents and you say you own a business and you support yourself financially, and she has a lot to offer, but it's all in this like single category. There's not, a lot after that. So
God bless Roxanne, but she sells like nipple pasties. So it's not like it's a great business and you should definitely be proud of yourself. You should be proud of yourself in any business, me coming as a business owner. But it doesn't mean that should be like your whole life and everything that you are and your whole being. Live a little bit. Sometimes I think parents like to see a little bit of fun, but she just brings up work and how Alex's parents work and she likes that about them, and it's just all work.
She does have a little bit to learn in this scene. I did enjoy this scene because she has this whole complex about marriage and a business, especially as like an independent woman. She feels like those things cannot live in the same body or in the same world.
Mhm.
And Alex's parents, I think, gives her some good perspective on what it's like to be married and to be a business person, and that it is good. So, and I think Alex has been sort of telling her that a little bit too, that, you know, you can be vulnerable with somebody. You don't have to be tough all the time. It's nice to
Yeah.
go home and be able to talk to your partner, your wife, your spouse, whoever, about what's really going on and how you feel, because you can't always be on all the time with no support. So I like this scene for her. I do like that she might be having some movement on her whole hang up with marriage. I'm not sure if that will, you know, move over to MGK quite as much. I think she trusts Alex a little bit more and his family and their whole culture when it comes to business. She wants to talk business with Alex's dad. It's so much business. I'm already tired of saying the word business.
Yeah, she is a little exhausting on the business front. And she takes every opportunity to also put down Kat a little bit and her man, so it's kind of weird. It gets awkward at times where she's just bringing up that they're not challenging. And I don't get what's up with these people and wanting to be challenged so bad either. Like I don't get that. I get a little bit of challenge. Like, yeah, you want somebody who motivates you. And I think that's the key word for me, is motivates you, makes you want to be a better person. But I don't think that I would need somebody who like just makes me want to work all the time, like challenges me to work, and we both work and we're both strong person. Like sometimes you need a little bit of something different. And these people are saying like we're just alike. We're just alike. We're just alike. We work. I work more than she does.
I'm tired of it. And then James up next.
Yes, Ryan and James get back from their pool date, and this is when they have that weird conversation about the hand holding.
Yeah.
And it was an awkward position to be like holding hands, her sitting on the floor, he's on the couch. He was telling her it was basically like a time and place for it, like when he's in the car, when he's walking, but like not awkwardly at home. And then she was being weird about it, like really persistent, like, do you like me? Do you want to hold my hand? And when he did finally hold her hand, she's like, do you like holding my hand? Do you want to hold my hand? Like so many questions.
I was confused kind of watching the scene because we started off with them talking about foreplay and flirting, and then they had this great date. And then all of a sudden, I think they're like cooking something at the beginning, but something seems to go wrong with that. And then when they go to sit down, the hand holding thing happens. And I thought that it was interesting because now they're having all these intimacy issues, but they seemed to kind of be the most intimate couple so far, but they certainly were closed off to each other in this scene. I think Ryan says something about like, I gave you a hug yesterday, or, you know, like that was like the last time that they had physical contact with each other, and that was supposed to be enough. But I don't know. It was awkward. I think this is where we start to see maybe some issues going on with James, because he really did seem to switch.
Well, when they were cooking, he was doing the dishes and he was telling her like this is a form of intimacy for him, and that's what he was trying to tell her on the couch too, was that, you know, sometimes I do other things, like I'll do things for you, and that's like a form of like a love language, which a lot of people are like that.
Yeah, acts of service, yeah.
But James seems to be able to do it all for Raya, at least in this little period. He takes her on this date, he cooks her this dinner, he cleans up after. But it just seems to get weird when she got really pushy about the hand holding. I think that's when he kind of switched, especially with him being a little bit of experienced.
Yeah, you know, I wonder if that's kind of what was going on, and maybe we just kind of missed it in the editing of, like, there seemed to be this buildup going on, right? They were talking a lot. They were being really open about their sexuality. They went on this like sexy date. And then he cooked her dinner. He's cleaning. He's saying, this is all me showing you intimacy. I wonder if she was trying to get to the physical part.
I think
he was very closed off in that way. And I think she just matched that energy and like shut everything down from there. Like, if we're not going to be physical, then I don't want to be excited, you know?
Yeah, my first reaction was that she wanted to get it in and she was trying to get it in. And
I don't
she was
blame
upset.
her. He was really like giving her the va va voom. Like I would have been wanting to do that stuff too if someone was doing all those things for me.
Well, he also brings up that he cheated on Ryan before and he doesn't want to ever do that. So I do respect that. I think that him and Ryan were really just there to get better for each other. They've been together for 7 years, so I feel like it must be really hard to hook up with somebody else.
Yeah.
Even if you have cheated before. Ryan and Trey go on this boat ride, and Trey confesses he has feelings for her, and that's basically all that happens there. And Ryan just kind of sits there like, "Thank you." It wasn't a reciprocated thing. I don't know what's going on with Trey in his head.
He's taking this experience as something more real than she is.
Yeah, like she's using this as a learning tool. He's using this as like a possible other reality for him.
Totally. So I think that's the end, right, of episode 4.
Pretty much